Hi, welcome to another edition of Meet the Author. And we have with us today Fern Michonski. How are you, Fern?
Very fine, thank you.
Did I get that pronunciation correct?
You did excellent. Yes, indeed.
Fern makes songs for books, and one of the books that she has is Rock Ridin'. Let me read a little bit about Fern before we talk about the book. Fern Michonski is a children's entertainer, songwriter, musician, and teacher child care specialist. As creator of Fern's music, Fern Forest Enterprises, I love that title, a Mom's Choice Award-winning business, she is devoted to bringing wholesome and inspiring entertainment to children. Fern has recorded and released 6 original albums, including Kids Christmas Fern, with her theme song Rock Ridin'. Her music receives international airplay via the internet and radio. She recently expanded her business to include the publication of children's books with the release of Rock Ridin'. And this book, Rock Ridin', has the Mom's Choice Award. And also over here we can see it has a New England Book Festival winner. Very nice. Before I even talk a little bit more, I want to read a review that I found on Amazon.com of Rock Ridin'. First of all, what's the book about? When a boy and his rocking horse are separated, they discover that Christmas wishes haven't any nevers. Author Cheryl Elizabeth Waddell tells this endearing story in a classic style that evokes emotion, touching the hearts of both children and adults. Beautifully illustrated in detailed watercolor paintings by Janice Prey Wolfe, this is a charming children's picture book about friendship, family, and the transforming power of love. Included with the book is a link to the downloadable theme song written and performed by children's entertainer Fern Michonski that captures the rhythm and joy of riding a rocking horse. So about the book, one reader wrote, I purchased this book last Christmas for my cousin who is a proud mom of 3 little ones. She just loved the story, the incredibly beautiful drawings, and the theme song. Especially when kids are too young to read the book themselves, they love to look at the illustrations and listen to the song. This year I have ordered 2 more books for my co-workers who both have little ones, and so this book keeps on giving, and hopefully one day it will become a classic. It deserves it. This is not your ordinary children's picture book. That being said, tell us about the book, your song, and we know where this has gone, but where is it going?
Well, my dream is that that book will someday be made into an animated children's Christmas television special.
You know what? I think that would be a good idea. Maybe while you're talking about it, let me show some of the pictures. Well,
yes, that's John Michael, and he's a little boy, and he loves his rocking horse, and this is why it was so easy for me to write the theme song, because my favorite toy when I was a little child was a rocking horse.
Okay, so did you also write the story? You had something to do with writing the story, or just wrote the theme?
No. What happened was I am a music and movement teacher, so I was working at the Pied Piper Nursery School in Massachusetts, and it just so happened that the lead teacher director there was Cheryl Elizabeth Waddell. So I said to her, oh, I'm writing a CD about Christmas for children, and she said, oh, I've written a book. A Christmas book called Rock Ridin'. Would you like to read it? And I said, I would love to read it. Well, when I read it, the manuscript for the first time, it brought me to tears because she could have been writing about me.
Oh, okay.
Because I had a rocking horse when I was a little girl, and I outgrew it, which is what happens in the story, and my rocking horse got thrown in the dump.
Which is what happened in the story.
Which is what happens in this story, and I was heartbroken about this.
So you read this, and this was actually about you in a way.
But we hadn't met each other.
You hadn't met, and you had not written the story. It had been written, and you related to it.
Totally.
So basically it's the story of a child who is growing up and their parents throw away their toys to make room in the house. But there is that emotional attachment to some of the toys.
Exactly. And so in the story, the little boy outgrows the rocking horse. He still loves it, but he's outgrown it, so he can't fit in it anymore, and it's tattered and torn and this and that. And along comes the baby sister, and so Dad figures, well, you're not riding this anymore, you've outgrown it, I'm going to throw it in the dump. And John Michael goes to find his rocking horse, and that's when he discovers it's long gone. And meantime, Rock Ryden is sitting in the dump crying because he misses John Michael. John Michael's crying because he misses Rock Ryden. And then along comes Tanya Bell, the keeper of Christmas wishes. And she appears before Rock Ryden and says, would you like to go back and be with your friend John Michael? And he does, but he fears he'll be thrown away again because they don't, he got thrown away once.
Why would a parent want to get this Christmas present for their child? What type of parent would want that? What is the message?
The message is about family, friendship, and the transforming power of love. Because Rock Ryden has to make a decision, whether he is brave enough to change into something very different than what he's been his whole life in order to be with his best friend. And so that is his choice, and he becomes an ornament.
Okay. So, you know what? We're going to talk about these aliens in a minute, but before we get to the aliens, you know what? I think now will be a great time. Well, tell us, how did you develop the song? And we're going to listen to the song in a moment, okay? That you wrote for Rock Ryden. We'll do that first. So, tell us a little bit about how you developed the song. What's the creative process?
Well, it's interesting for this book. Well, when I write a song, it's different every single time. I play several instruments, so sometimes when I'm thinking about a song, the lyrics will come to me. Other times I go and pick up my guitar and I start strumming chords and then the melody comes to me. Or I use the piano and the melody will come to me. With this
Is that the same for all musicians, or do you know about how songs come to them?
I actually saw a talk show where they were asking, I forget, it was a very famous musician, how does he go about writing music? And he said the same thing. It varies. Sometimes I get everything at once, the words, the music, boom, and I have to grab my tape recorder and record it right then so I don't forget it. Other times, first the words, other times just the music. But it's a process, and then it just comes to me. Frequently in the night when I'm sleeping, I'll wake up with a whole song in my head.
So you would have a musical inclined brain, you would think.
I guess.
Okay. So let's hear the tune that you brought it on CD.
Yes.
And can we see the CD? Is it separate? Do you show us an example? That comes with the book?
No. What you will get in the book, at the very end of the book, there is a link.
A link, okay.
And you go to that link, and then you can download the theme song for just 99 cents.
Okay.
Or on Amazon, you can purchase the entire album. The second track is the theme song for Rock Ryden.
Okay, and why, if I can ask, I mean, sometimes you get a book and it has the CD or the DVD in it. Why didn't you do that?
I chose not to do that because nowadays I actually talked with different people before I did this, and that's one of the nice things because I'm a teacher, so I work with lots of children. And pretty much everybody said, we'd rather just download it onto an MP3.
Really?
And so I said, okay, because also that's very cost effective for me not to have a CD in every single book. So we decided to go with that. And then people can download it to MP3s, whatever, and do it that way.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, first I'm going to play you what's on the CD in the beginning.
And then
this
you brought
is the
your
full
guitar.
music version, and then I'll do it with the guitar.
Okay,
Yes. This particular song,
there you go.
I actually did write. First the lyrics came to me, then I used the guitar with it, and it became the full song.
Okay,
and then it became this with full music.
Okay, let's hear it. The process.
Yes.
Once upon another day, I was so little I loved to play. I'd sit on top of my rocking horse and rock to music, yes, there I'd stay. My horse and I would play a game. Rock Ryden was his special name. We'd rock together all day long. We'd pretend and sing a song.
Feel like a rocking horse?
Rock riding, you're in my heart to stay.
Okay, and now you play the guitar version.
Yes, now that is the final version. And so when I first start writing a song, I get the words and the music with the guitar, in this case, and then I go to my musical arranger, and we actually create...
Your musical arranger? What's
musical arranger. His name is Chris Haynes. He is absolutely wonderful.
Is that a real person?
It is a real person.
Okay.
Yes, in fact,
Not the downloadable version.
Not the downloadable person. He's a real person,
Okay.
and he is actually the head of the music department at Springfield College up in
Okay.
Massachusetts. And so we sit together at the synthesizer with the computer, and I talk to him about what I'm thinking about based on the melody and the chords that I've written.
Really?
And then we create a band around the theme of the music.
So it's not something that just came to you overnight. You have it all done, but you have
it's a-
to...
yeah.
It's a process.
It's an absolute process, and then we lay out the musical arrangements around the melody, and then I go into the recording studio and lay down the vocals, and then we have the full musical version.
Well, how long does it take to go, from the idea of popping in your head to the song to come out? I know it's going to vary, but about, average.
Well, when
the
I
finished
first start
song.
writing a song, it's sort of odd. Sometimes it takes me a couple weeks, and sometimes, in the case of this, because it was from my soul, I mean, rock riding, my rocking horse, I had the whole song written probably in an hour.
Really?
But then, this process, well, you have to go it probably takes me about 2 to 3 hours with Chris to get all of the musical arrangements around it. All of this done on a synthesizer, which is a keyboard instrument. And then going into the recording studio, laying down the vocals, so that's another probably couple hours, because you keep redoing it. And then also I have a backup vocalist, because I am an alto. She's a soprano, so then we lay down the different tracks of the vocals, and voila, then you end up with that.
Okay.
But when you start, it went like this. Once upon another day, I was so little I loved to play. I'd sit atop my rocking horse and rock to music, yes, there I'd stay. My horse and I would play a game. Rock riding was his special name. We'd rock together all day long. We'd pretend and sing a song. Rock riding, let's rock and rock all day. Rock riding, you're in my heart to stay. But then before I knew it, I grew so very tall. And when I'd see rock riding, he looked so very small. But still I loved rock riding, I just no longer fit. But still I love to look at him, so beside him I would sit. Rock riding, let's rock and rock all day. Rock riding, you're in my heart to stay. One day I went to find him, for rock riding was my friend. But Daddy said he threw him out, he was too old to mend. My heart was really broken. Rock riding, he cried too, for he was in a dark cold dump. His heart felt very blue. Rock riding, let's rock and rock all day. Rock riding, you're in my heart to stay. But then our Christmas fairy came flying into town. She made rock riding all brand new, and then she shrank him down. She placed it in a Christmas shop for everyone to see. And when Dad saw that rocking horse, he bought him for my tree. Rock riding, let's rock and rock all day. Rock riding, you're in my heart to stay. I knew something was special, for the horse upon my tree looked really quite familiar and seemed to smile at me. Suddenly, I knew it! The horsey was my own! It truly was rock riding! He finally made it home. Rock riding, let's rockin' rock all day. Rock riding, in my heart to stay. Rock riding, let's rockin' rock all day. Rock riding, in my heart to stay.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Excellent.
Thank you
Well, I can
very much.
imagine all the other songs being really great. Very good. So maybe that will be a classic.
Well, you know, I tried to make it like you feel on a rocking horse. And you're rocking, and that's what I was consciously thinking.
While you were doing the song.
Because that is what I did. Endless hours when I was a little child. I'd turn on music and rock to my rocking horse and wore him out.
So tell us now, we have these aliens here, okay? Now, you said you were influenced by Shari Lewis, okay?
Yes.
And tell us a little bit about Shari Lewis. Not everybody knows who she is, although many people do. And what is your connection and how were you influenced by her?
Well, when I was a little girl, I loved to watch Shari Lewis on television. I loved
Shari
Lamb
Lewis
Chop, you know, and her puppets and all of that. And that's what I do as a teacher. My music is all written about love and kindness and bringing in puppets and making kids.
Shari Lewis had puppets, right?
Exactly,
And
she had
was a ventriloquist,
puppets.
and she also played music.
That is
and
right.
She wrote songs.
Exactly. And so the way I view it, because I also loved Rafi, who came along after Shari Lewis, but in any event. So I feel that my music is a high energy mix of Rafi and Shari Lewis that sparks kids' imaginations and makes them laugh all wrapped up in a hug.
Okay, and you brought in a picture from USA Today. Did I get that right? Okay. What do we have here?
Yes, I
became
was
famous.
Yes, I was very excited. In fact, this is hanging in my attorney's office because he
attorney's
was very
office.
excited about it. Out of hundreds of thousands of tapes, my Christmas CD, which is this one here that has Rock Ridin' on it, was chosen as one of the top kids' picks by USA Today in the entire nation. And they chose a few craft books, and there is where the write-up is about myself. And also in this group was Sharon, Lois, and Braun. They had a Christmas album. So their album and my album were the two albums, and then the other ones were stories and craft books. So it was really quite an honor that I was chosen as one of the top kids' picks in the nation by USA Today.
Wow.
Yes.
So now, tell us about your other CDs.
Well, I have 6 CDs. The first one I did was Kids Dance with Fern. I'm not sure where that one is. Kids Dance with Fern is here. So, oh, here it is, right here. And that, no, excuse me, this is Fern, the Stars, and the Planets, I mean. And that's how come I have these little aliens here that you think are so
Are
cute.
any of the other ones associated with the book?
With this book,
With a book?
every one of my CDs has a book written that goes with it.
Were they written by the same person?
Yes. Cheryl Elizabeth Waddell is my friend and colleague, and we work together all the time. We're extremely close.
Okay, so there's
Yes.
a book that goes with each one.
Yes, though they are not published yet. The
Oh,
first,
okay.
Yes, the first one I published is Rock Ridin'.
Oh, I see. So
Right.
now you have a book, but you didn't originally have a book.
That's
with
right. I
each
have
one.
all these manuscripts written in files, ready to go when
There you
I.
go. Oh, so that's a
Yes.
pretty good collaboration there.
It is. It's wonderful.
Very nice. So we talked about Shari Lewis,
Yeah.
and we said that she also wrote a Hanukkah song, okay?
Yes.
She was Jewish, so you prepared for us a Hanukkah song since Christmas is coming up, but so is Hanukkah. Hanukkah's coming before Christmas this year.
On Thanksgiving,
So,
right?
Actually, on Thanksgiving, and they're calling it Thank Hanukkah or Hanu Thank You, something like that.
Okay.
Hana Thank You.
Okay.
Hanukkah.
Yes.
Thanks Hanukkah. Thanks
Okay.
Hanukkah. Okay, so let's hear a very famous Hanukkah
Okay.
song. It's called Rock of Ages, Ma'ot
Yes.
Sur. Okay.
And I am going to sing
You're
it
gonna
in
sing
English.
And you're going to sing it in English. It sounds like Hebrew, but
Yes, I don't speak
Very
Hebrew, so I
very famous classical Hanukkah song.
Rock of Ages, let our song praise your saving power. You amid the raging foes were our sheltering tower. much.
As good a rendition as I've ever heard.
Why, thank you so much, sir.
And you have, I read very quickly, that one song is also about the Nativity. Is that correct? You had one song?
Oh, on my...
Or one religious song. It says here. Anyways,
yes.
It said that here.
Yes, on my Christmas CD, the
The one
songs...
here it says, the one religious, it's actually in the article, the one religious tune on the 12-song tape is The Friendly Beasts.
Yes.
The Nativity told from the manger animal perspective.
And that
What's
touches
that
my
about?
heart dearly, and
Okay,
I'll
let's
tell you
hear
why.
that.
Well, it's a cover song, okay? So this is a traditional song that's been out there. Why did I put that on my album? Well, my grandmother had a farm. And I was always there. I had my own cow when I was a child. And I remember saying to her one day, Grammy, what do you think the animals do on Christmas Eve? And she said, well, I know just what they do, Fern. And I said, well, what? And she said, well, right at Christmas Eve at midnight, they all bow their heads and they pray to baby Jesus.
Really? Very nice.
And so when I saw this song and came upon it, I instantly said, that's going on my Christmas CD someday.
Okay.
And so it is. Now, I could pop that over and play a little bit of it if you'd like.
Wait a second.
Okay,
No,
sure.
that's okay. We'll do. We heard two really good songs, but we'll talk a little bit more.
Sure.
But the we'll be able to play it by guitar though instead of popping it on
I
the
don't
CD?
have that one on the guitar right
Oh,
now.
okay.
So,
Do you
yeah.
have another one?
On the guitar? Well, I was
do by
thinking
guitar?
I can do you some Thanksgiving songs on the guitar. We can do.
Oh.
We can do
Well, very good.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Well, you know it. Which Thanksgiving song do you know?
Oh, I know tons of Thanksgiving
Over
songs.
the. Over
Oh,
the,
yeah, I know that.
Okay, we'll do that one in a moment. So
Okay,
since
sure.
we're talking about a Hanukkah, Thanksgiving, Christmas special, and that, and
Okay.
most of it took place in the Holy Land. I actually lived in the Holy Land. So I'm going to just mention that if anybody wants to get a Hanukkah gift. So I lived in Israel for over 20 years, and I wrote a book. It's sort of like Under the Tuscan Sun, Eat, Pray, Love, and The Hobbit all in one. Leaving home, going home, returning home, a Hebrew-American soldier in the land of Israel. There you go. So, play.
Which one? Which one?
Can you do it?
Over the. Oh yeah.
I love that one.
Over the river and
Yeah.
through the woods. Oh yes.
I
Well, you
love
have
it.
to understand, Jason.
Yes.
In addition to writing music and publishing books, I am a preschool music and movement teacher.
Right, I understand that.
And
Yes.
so this is what I do.
But I didn't know that this is one of the songs, but yeah, okay.
Oh, I know a lot of songs.
I didn't want to catch you off guard.
Oh,
but
I can handle it. Trust me. I work with
let's
children.
do it. Go for it.
Over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. The horse knows the way to carry the sleigh through the waiting in the snow. Over the river and through the woods, so how the wind does blow. It stings my toes and bites my nose as over the ground we go. Over the river and through the woods, strike past my dad will cry. Jump over the ground like a hunting hound, 'cause this is Thanksgiving Day. Over the river and through the woods, now Granny's sleigh flies by. Hooray for the fun is the pudding done. Hooray for the pumpkin pie.
Excellent. Wow, now I'm ready for Thanksgiving,
Now you're hungry,
Hanukkah,
right?
and Christmas. For pumpkin, well, you
All
know,
at once. Yes, indeed.
pumpkin pie I do love. So, where can they get your books and your CDs?
Well, you can go to my website, which is www.fernsmusicforkids.com. FOR4, not the number 4. fernsmusicforkids.com.
Okay.
Or they can go to Amazon. We are 5-star rated at Amazon. And also, I should mention...
So what do they look up under Amazon?
Type in Rock Ridin'
Rock
and
Ridin',
make
but
sure
you
that
have
you
to make
spell
sure
it
it's
that way.
ROCKRHYDIN. Why is it spelled that way?
You know, I said that to Cheryl. Cheryl.
Sounds nice.
It does. It's artistic. It's creative and wonderful. Looking back, we actually have thought, gee, maybe we shouldn't have spelled it like that because then, you know, it is...
How are you going to spell it? Find it. You know, you can't look it up.
Exactly. So I have a lot of keywords in there about
They
rocking
come
horse
out on
and
Google search, you know.
whatever, you know, trying
But I
to.
like it.
But yeah, it's sort of pretty and different. But also, this book has been made into an ebook. And so you can get the ebook, you can get the CD, as well as the regular book, either on my website at fernsmusicforkids.com or also on amazon.com.
Now, I did actually go, you have a blog, and actually went and looked at your website and your blog, and I was just wondering, you know, what does someone write about who writes music? You know, what is their blog going to be about? So I actually looked at it. It was very interesting. So tell us a little bit about your blog. Why people, what people can find on your blog.
Well, I think of myself as a preschool music education expert. And so I write about parenting techniques, creative ideas and crafts that I've done with children in the classroom, because before I was just doing music with children, I directed nursery schools, so I've done all of that.
You directed nursery schools?
Yes, in the past. I also used to teach K through 6 music at an elementary school. And so I write about funny things children say, parenting tips, creative crafts. So, well, the other day there was a thing on the news. I watch for things that are relevant on the news, and if I see something that really piques my interest, I'll make a comment.
So what was that?
Well, recently there was a comment.
I did read it. So what was that?
That was about a person out in North Dakota somewhere thought that it would be a good idea to pass out letters to children.
Right, I read that, correct.
Yes.
I loved it. Go on.
They decided it would be a great idea to pass out letters to children if
Halloween.
On Halloween,
yes,
when they were trick-or-treating, if she felt they were overweight. And I was horrified at such an idea, and I thought to myself, I have to comment. I can't let this go. And my comment is, what we need to teach our children is kindness and not passing out hurtful comments. And instead, let's be constructive, don't point fingers.
Well, I passed out fruit on Halloween, and we
There
don't
you
have
go.
to pass out a nasty
Exactly.
letter. But if they
Exactly.
came to me, I gave them money,
Yeah.
pens and pencils, fruit,
Right.
not candy bars.
Well,
actually, I have, before, now that you mentioned, I
Yeah.
will say something. When I was a kid in 6th grade, I went trick-or-treating, and I got a bag full of chocolate bars, and my friend and I were watching a game, and we gobbled up maybe 10 to 15 chocolate bars when we were a kid. The next day, I had a wicked allergy, a chocolate allergy. My whole face was red. I went to school. I never saw such a thing because I ate too many chocolate bars. So
Yeah.
definitely maybe 1 or 2 chocolate bars and pass out maybe fruit on Halloween. So you
Yes.
started that.
There you go. Yes.
I'd like you to sign. You brought your pen, or I'll use this one.
Yes,
You're going
I'll
to
use
sign
it.
over a copy of Rock Ride. And I actually did read the story, and it actually was a good story. You know what?
Thank you.
I honestly believe it should be a classic. I mean,
Thank
I
you.
couldn't tell the difference between that and any other major
Well,
story
you know-
for kids. I think it's a great story.
Thank you very much. This manuscript, Cheryl had presented to Bill Melendez Productions. Bill Melendez did the Charlie Brown's Christmas
Oh,
and the
okay.
Garfield Christmas,
Okay.
and he wanted to
I
make
was
it.
just going to say I'd never heard of it. Good thing I didn't say that.
Good thing you didn't. He actually wanted to make this into an animated children's television
Wow.
special, and
So
then the
maybe
writers
someone
strike-
will. Maybe
and I'm
someone's
hoping.
watching this and
I
will.
hope.
You know what? I really do think it should be. I
Thank
give
you.
it my okay.
Thank you very much.
And I can say I have a signed copy put up on eBay.
There you go. Shall
Okay.
I say to Jason?
To Jason, of course.
Okay.
I'm not going to put it on eBay. I'll keep it.
I hope
I
so.
think it's a great story.
Thank you very, very much. And I'm not going to put Fern Carver Michonski unless you want me to. Would you like me to say Miss Fern, which is what everyone calls me?
Miss Fern.
Okay.
That's good. We know who you're talking about?
That's right.
Well, it's written on the books. That's okay.
There you are.
Thank you.
Thank you so
well,
much.
that was a really nice session on Meet the Author. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me, Jason. I had a great time.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.